We human beings love stories. We love stories. We love all kinds of different stories. We love inspirational and motivational stories about people who have been thrust into horrible circumstances and somehow come out of it. And we love that because we all feel like we find ourselves in tough circumstances sometimes. And how am I going to get out of this? And it just reminds us that, okay, there was this one guy that one time that was able to do that. We love underdog stories. We love sports stories where people do incredible things and accomplish things against all odds. I love I love reading business biographies. I love reading about people like Ben Franklin and Steve Jobs. And my most recent one was Elon Musk, and learning how in the world they came from relatively humble beginnings and then went on to do these incredible things. Just had the opportunity to speak with a gentleman named Salvatore Forcina, and he wrote his memoir. And he came from war-torn Italy. He was born in 1941, and his parents sent him to South America um, just to get away from all the conflict. And that meant he would go live with a religious group. I think it was a Catholic church of some kind, and he was just going to be away from his family. He was going to be in a new environment. And while that was going to be long term a good thing, what a really, really challenging circumstance that was. And he eventually found his way to the United States. And at the age of 30, even though he had gone and did medical training in South America, he still needed to go through medical training in the United States. And one of the challenges there was he didn't speak English. And he talked about feeling like he was in a small boat on the ocean and he felt like he was at the mercy of the winds. And I think that that's such a profound metaphor because I think that we've all felt that way at some point in time. We've all felt like we're at the mercy of the elements. We are not in control of our situations. We are just getting bounced around from wave to wave, and we don't know what's going to be happening next. And it's rough in the daytime, but it's even rougher at nighttime, where we can't see anything, and the ocean is boiling, and the sounds are terrifying, and we just don't know. It can be a scary thing. And I just heard the other day about a Peruvian fisherman who'd been a professional fisherman for a long time. He was, I think, in his 60s, and he somehow got lost. He had headed out and intending to go fishing for about a week at a time and was gone for months. And they eventually found him. I think an Ecuadorian vessel found him like 400 or 500 or 600 miles off the coast. And he had survived for, I think it was over 5 months. My goodness, the ability to do that. What's the point of all of this? Is that in a lot of ways, I think it's a wonderful metaphor for what we go through as we are trying to navigate our personal finances. Because it's been well documented and said a million times that, geez, I sure wish I would have learned this stuff in school. Wish I would have been taught this stuff. And whether you think that's true or not, or whether it is true or not, or whether or not you would have actually learned and then been able to apply information that you had learned in school, what's important and what's true is that it is incredibly complex and that there are so many aspects of personal finance that we are expected and we're needing to stay on top of. But who in the world has time to understand it at a surface level, let alone be good enough at it to feel confident in what you're doing? If it's not trying to figure out my income taxes, it's I need to save for retirement, I need to worry about investing, and then, oh, by the way, there's estate planning and so much stuff. And then we need to help aging parents maybe make it through this. And we need to deal with the health considerations and the estate planning that goes along with that and all the rules that are there. And I have to imagine that this resonates with you because it certainly resonates with me. And I work in the field, and it's still incredibly complicated, and you can still feel like you are a small boat on the ocean at the mercy of the winds, the mercy of the different elements. So, made me think, well, what can we be doing? How can we better prepare ourselves, forgiving the educational system, forgiving our parents for not necessarily equipping us with the tools that we needed to become successful and giving ourselves grace that we did go out and find it ourselves. Just coming to the realization that I am where I am today, and I must somehow navigate the ocean and somehow get some kind of an oar in my hand or a motor on my boat where I can be more proactive, directing where it is that I'm going and not just having to bounce around. So obviously, if I am navigating a boat, I need navigational skills. I need to understand how to chart a path using maps or using the stars. I need to know how to actually operate the boat. So if it's a sailboat, I need to learn how to do that. I think that I'm probably going to need to have a pretty optimistic mindset about this, thinking that I'm going to get through it. If I have a fatalistic mindset, it's probably not going to be successful. I need to be an adaptable person because the ocean does not care about me. It probably doesn't even know that I've got this tiny boat that I'm bouncing around on. So, from a personality trait, I better be a gritty person. I better be a courageous, resilient person. I better embrace self reliance and independence if I'm going to make it through this. And I also need to be self aware and recognize I am deficient in these areas. I need to learn how to become a better fisherman. I need to become more adept at reading the stars and charting a course. I need to, whatever it might be. If it's just me out there, then it's going to be tricky, but rarely in life is it really ever just you. Rarely is it just ever me. There are other people there. You're going to have a first mate. You're going to have crewmates. You're going to have a network of people that can help you to become successful. So specifically, let's talk about what traits are similar, what is similar to that metaphor, that analogy I've just been using. So how do we do it? What practical financial skills do I need to have, do I need to require? You think about, let's just talk about feeling like you are overwhelmed and you are drowning. And how do we feel that way? We normally feel that way because we're buried under a mountain of debt. We're overwhelmed. And when you are drowning in credit card debt and you don't have any idea how you are going to make it all work, how are you going to meet the minimum payments? And you're robbing Peter to pay Paul and you're just moving money around, not necessarily paying this debt off, just trying to stay above water and and treading water so that the ocean does not swallow us up. So there's so many different things. So how do we do this? Well, we need to learn how to track our cash flow. We need to learn how to track our expenses. We need to be able to set up a budget. So those are foundational things. Do I know how to do these things? Once I have a handle on the money coming in, the money going out, then I can create a plan for my money, which is the better term for a budget. It's just a plan for our money. And then we could figure out, okay, I don't have a lot of wiggle room. There's not a lot of extra money. What can I be doing to find some more if that's even possible? And then I can create a plan to pay off that debt. And that plan is creating a plan is like creating a plan for getting where I'm going to go, getting through those rough waters into more calm waters. So that's the first step. So financial planning is one of those terms that I think it just carries so much weight. Maybe it doesn't. What do you think about when you hear financial planning? I think it carries a lot of weight. I think that people think it's too complicated, and it's the industry's fault, and it's the industry's decision by design to make it seem like financial planning is this extremely complicated thing that only a certified financial planner could do. But I call BS on that for sure because it's way simpler than the industry makes it out to be. I mean, fundamentally, what you're doing when you're making a financial plan is you're simply looking at where we are today, and we think about where we want to be in the future, and then we create a plan for closing that gap. So right now, we're getting tossed around by the waves in the ocean, and we are at the mercy of the wind. And that means we are in debt up to our eyeballs, and we don't know what to do. So that's where we're at. And then we assess what we need from a know-how perspective We get to work on that. But most importantly, we make the decision on, I don't want to be in debt anymore. I want financial security, and I then want to move on to financial prosperity. That's what I want. Or you insert whatever you want. And that answer could be filthy frickin' rich. I think that that sounds pretty good. That's what you want. Write that down. Going from at the mercy of the waves here to being filthy rich. Okay, so how do we do that? How do we chart that course? What are the steps that we must take? What are the support that we need? What new learnings are required? What behavior changes? What mindset do I need in order to actually close that gap between what I want and what I have, between where I am and where I want to be? So, safety net. That's probably the first thing we have to do. We have to get from red into the black. So, we got to get out of debt. You got to make a plan for getting out of debt. Now, I've got a free course you can take. It's called Get Out of Debt. You can find it on the website, find it in the notes. That'll help you chart the course. But from there, it's being able to get your emergency fund set up. So that's cash on hand. Think about that as your life vest. We'll just keep this whole boat on the water thing going. Your emergency fund is your life preserver, your life vest. It is having enough water, enough food so you don't die. That's fundamentally it right there. Let's stay alive. So we have to have that. Okay? That's our safety net. And I advocate that you get to 6 months worth of expenses. So once you go through your cash flow, once you understand your budget, that's going to inform what your monthly expenses are. Maybe you already know that, maybe you don't. It's critical that we do have the answer to those questions. That is going to be our safety net. That is going to be our life preserver. So we have that. Get to 6 months. It's going to take you a long time to do these two things. It's going to take you a long time to pay off your credit card debt. It's going to take you a long time to get 6 months worth of your expenses saved up. But it's 100% worth it. That's where you need to be. That's our starting point. If you can't ever get there, you're never going to get to where you want to go long term. That's the truest thing that I can tell you. It's on the nose. It's the truth. You have to be able to do that. So, what mindset do we need? Well, we have to be optimistic. We have to have hope that our future will be better than our past. And it can be and it will be. You are 100% worthy and deserving and capable of the financial success that you desire. But we're not entitled to it. Nobody's going to give it to you. But you need to be optimistic and hopeful that you're going to move from where you are today to where it is that you really want to be. We have to be adaptable, just like our sailor friend. We have to be able to adapt and move as things come up. We got hurt. I got laid off. I changed jobs. Somebody got sick. Somebody died. I got in an accident. There's so many different things. We need to be able to weather these storms. We have to be patient. It's like I talked about, it's going to take you a couple of years to accomplish this. So we have to be patient. We have to keep our eye on the prize. We have to remind ourselves consistently, this is why I'm doing these things. This is why I'm going without, or whatever it is that we're needing to do. It's going to take a long time. Financial security is not a straight line. We have to be able to stay the course and recognize that it's not going to go exactly the way that we want it to. We have to be able to stick with this plan. We need grit. We need courage. We need to be resilient. We need to be self-reliant. We need to be self-aware. Same things that are required to successfully navigate a vessel through choppy waters and rough wind or whatever it might be. Financial independence starts with the belief that you are in control of your financial life, that you are the only one who's responsible, that nobody is ever going to care as much about your finances than you. Fundamental truth. It's never going to be anybody more interested in your financial success than you are, so you have to act accordingly. You have to take complete ownership over everything. You have to take ownership of the mistakes, the successes, all of it. It doesn't do anybody any good to try to make excuses for why it is that you are where you are. We just find ourselves where we are, and that's fine. We move forward, we accept, keep moving forward. Being self-aware again, is extremely important because we have to recognize where we're deficient, what we're not willing to do, what we're never going to be willing to do. If you're just not going to maintain a budget, if you're just not going to track your spending, you need to figure out how somebody else can help you to do that. And that's fine. I mean, I'm not interested in you lying to yourself. I don't ever want to BS myself. And so I don't encourage you. I'd rather say that another way. I don't want you to BS yourself either. I want you to be brutally honest about what you're willing to do and what you're not willing to do and where you need help with. And then I want you to have the courage to raise your hand and get the support that you need. Because there are plenty of people that have been where it is that you are and are no longer in that place because they did what was required in order for them to move past it. And you can do it too. It's one of the wonderful things about Dave Ramsey. Whether or not they still do it or not, I'm not sure. They used to have people come on and do their debt-free scream. And they tell this story about how they had $100,000 of credit card debt and medical bills, and they buckled down and they did it over the course of a number of years. They were able to pay it off, and now they couldn't be happier, and that is the truth. So there's so many people around you that can help you to get to where you want to go. There's so many great free resources. You can listen to podcasts, watch YouTube videos, read blog posts, this, that, and the other thing. The content is out there. The goal, from my perspective, is financial security. That's the first step in all of this. The ultimate goal is whatever it is you want. Again, you want to be richy rich, go for it. Scrooge McDuck, I'm here for it. Great. You want to stop worrying about money? Okay. You want financial peace of mind? Great. We're never going to get there until we have that financial security. Once we find that, then we are in position to get out there and pursue any level of financial success that you desire. So, as we work through our debt repayment, as we work through saving up our emergency fund, as we are addressing all the different needs that we might have and the new learnings that are required, that's going to help us to feel in control. Financial freedom, financial success, all of the things, again, are available to you. And the way that you feel about money right now, I think is nothing but a really great thing. Because this is how I feel about money right now. Fine. You feel like it sucks. You feel like it's kicking your ass. You feel like you're on top of it. How do you feel about money right now? Maybe you do feel like that little boat on the ocean at the mercy of the winds. Maybe you feel somewhere in the middle. But the way that you feel about it is perfectly fine. I assert and advocate the importance of this is that you get to choose how you will ultimately feel about money. So you feel about it in the way that you feel about it right now. I'm telling you that you get to choose how you want to feel about money moving forward. If you're somebody that says, I'm just not good at it, I say that's the wrong way to think about it. You need to start thinking about money in the context of it is a tool that can help me get what I want in my life. We assign so much power to money as well. And it's a powerful thing. But it only has the power that we let it have. And I don't want it to have power over me. I want to view it as, like I just said, a tool that can help me get the life that I want. On your terms. You're in control. You're in charge. Start acting like it. Once again, it's never going to be anybody more interested in your financial success than you are. So you must act accordingly.